Hey, my name is Cordeillia. Welcome to my first official YouTube video. And so what am I doing here? I've jumped onto YouTube because I want to see how much people, particularly parents, I can truly help to educate their children in a way that's creative, interactive, and really supports them to smash maths like never before. We're particularly looking at those hands-on kinesthetic learners that really want to see maths from an alternative perspective, just to help them to delve into methods a little bit deeper to help with their understanding before they move forward. Now, who am I and why would you want to listen to me? So I trained as a teacher, qualified as a teacher in 2012. Yes, I know that's a very long time ago, and I'm not actually that old. So I've been teaching in primary schools, secondary schools. I did train as a secondary school art teacher, but then I went into primary school to do the bulk of my teaching. So that's predominantly where I stayed. I've also been I've worked in a pupil referral unit up in London for quite some time as well, and I really enjoyed my time there. And I've also worked in a few private schools throughout Birmingham as well, which was a phenomenal experience. So I've got lots and lots of experience. But why maths and why me? So basically, and when I say I despised maths, really despised maths. As a child, I remember so many times I was taught maths in the very traditional way, blackboards at that time. I still, even to this day, remember the chalk on the blackboard like screeching, and the board marker just making so much mess in the classroom. But I just found it really difficult. And then I had this tutor. In fact, no, sorry, I'm fast forwarding too fast. So when I was in school, I really struggled with maths, really struggled with maths. And I just didn't get it. I mean, English, geography, science, phenomenal. I was fantastic with everything else, but maths was, I mean, let's there's children that are bad at maths. I was below the children that were bad at maths. I was just so bad. And I've always had problems with maths. Yeah, I've always had problems with maths. And so I realised when I decided that, hey, I want to be a teacher, this is what I want to teach. And when I went into primary school, I realised that, hey, you're going to have to be able to teach maths as well. Knowing that my maths was so bad, I had to find a way to correct it. But first I had to realise what the actual issue was and why I was so bad at maths in the first place. And I got a tutor, as many people do, and he basically told me that I am just a really kinesthetic learner. I was like, what is that? But basically a kinesthetic learner is just a person that likes to use tangible learning resources to help them to learn. That's how I like to learn. I like to do things for myself to enable me to see and understand better. And I was like, oh, okay. So when he was teaching me, he taught me through lots of kinesthetic methods, he got deans and dice and things that I could use. And then I was like, oh, now it makes sense. Great, cool. And I actually flourished with maths. But what happened before that is, so basically when you go for your teaching, when you go for your PGCE, I'm not too sure if it's changed now, but this was 2012. We had to pass this maths test, and I was like, oh my gosh, really? Me and maths, we don't get along. And so knowing that I had to pass this test, and it was a timed maths test. I don't know if it's timed now, but it was a timed maths test. And I just knew that I was going to have like really bad, significant problems. And so basically I ended up taking that one test 12 times before I passed. 12 times, one test 12 times before I passed. But I did pass eventually. I got to the point where, because the end of the course was coming up and I'd taken it so many times, and I remember the time the tutor came to me and she's like, Cordeillia, if you don't pass this test, you will fail your whole PGCE. And I was like, I'd done so well in every other maths aspect, but this one maths test, I just couldn't pass it. I think it was because it was timed as well, and my mind just doesn't work like that. And so fast forward to today, obviously I was able to pass the test. Hooray for me, thank you very much. And but it was just simply, I just needed to see maths from an alternative perspective. I just needed to see it creatively. I needed to get my hands dirty. and move things around and draw pictures, and that helped me to understand. So now what I do is I support children to see and conquer maths in exactly the same way, but we do it from an earlier age, so without them having to struggle through life with maths just exactly how I did. I support them to become fearless, confident learners from a really super early age, so they don't need to like struggle like I did. Because trust me, when you're struggling and you've got friends who aren't, it's not nice. And when you're not just the lowest of the low in a subject, but you're the lowest of the lowest of the low in a subject, and they actually create another class for you because you're so bad at maths. Yeah, that was me. It's embarrassing. So, and I went through primary and secondary school like that. As I say, it wasn't until I got this creative tutor that really helped me see maths from an alternative perspective. And so I've literally dedicated my whole life to supporting children in this way. Kinesthetic learning, creative learning, hands-on learning, lots of questioning, allowing them to ask open-ended questions, closed questions, allowing them to talk and communicate about their understanding, writing about it, and really seeing it from a different perspective, to basically see it through the eyes of a child. Children love to play, they can't keep still. So that's exactly what we do when it comes to maths. We want them to run around, we want them to play, we want them to throw balls at numbers and stuff. We want them to use sweets, they all love them, let's be honest. We want them to use dice, we want them to use dried pasta. These are the things that children love to do anyway. So why not integrate it into learning? This is, of course, how they're going to learn best, and it's exactly what our children do. So, as I said, welcome to my video. If you are still here, please do press like if you like the video, and please subscribe to my channel. As I said, I've only just started, but I hope to have many more phenomenal videos, mostly where I will support you as a parent to help your child at home along with their learning in a creatively kinesthetic way so they can smash maths like never before. Welcome to my channel, and yeah, say hi below, tell me where you're from. I would love to have I don't just want to talk to the screen, but I want to have a little bit of a dialogue with you guys. So yeah, below, tell me where you're from, and I'd love to have a conversation with you, or just comment on your comments. Okay, so it's Cordeillia, and yeah, welcome to my channel.